Now, I have an article here from, again, actually, funny enough, from the New York Times from August 5th, 2007. Now, I said, I don't know how long ago, but I talked about an article from this time period that I said I would dig up for you guys. And this had to do with diversity. You know, this whole idea of diversity is a strength, instead of what it is in it being a weakness, being a detriment to society. And this New York Times article was quoting a massive study that proved that it was quoting a massive article that was proving that it is, in fact, a net negative. So it's called The Downside of Diversity, and it is available on archive.is. We don't have to go too far in it, just the first couple of paragraphs. It has become increasingly popular to speak of racial and ethnic diversity as a civic strength. From multicultural festivals to pronouncements from political leaders, the message is the same. Our difference makes us stronger. But a massive new study based on detailed interviews of nearly 30,000 people across America has concluded just the opposite. Harvard political scientist Robert Putnam, famous for Bowling Alone, his 2000 book on declining civic engagement, has found that the greater the diversity in a community, the fewer people vote and the less they volunteer, the less they give to charity and work on community projects. In the most diverse communities, neighbors trust one another about half as much as they do in most homogeneous settings. The study, the largest ever on civic engagement in America, found that virtually all measures of civic health are lower in more diverse settings. Now, we can see this to be the case in certain areas. In fact, you look down in areas such as Toronto these days. In Toronto, Canada, we can see how this is the case. We have an increased crime rate. We can see how people are not engaging with each other as they used to. The whole idea of community has gone out of the window. And this is also what has to do with the pilot immigration program that they're trying to push now. Most of you are probably aware of this. They're bringing in more immigrants these days, and a huge increase in immigration numbers. And one of the reasons for this is because of this exact reason. They like to say diversity is a strength, when we know that the opposite happens to be true. We know that... Hold on, where am I? Oh. Or looking up something real quick. So we know the opposite happens to be true, but along with this idea of, you know, the whole diversity of our strength, which is nothing more than a cover, and then putting these people into rural areas, what they are doing is they are then going to lower the civic engagement, because in these areas right now, you can't really look to the cities to find good examples of people engaging with each other, people helping each other out, people volunteering. You need to look at these smaller towns where there's less people, where there is more of a homogeneous group of people there. They're going to insert all of these new arrivals over there. Number one, these new arrivals are going to take a lot of the work that's out of there. Not that there's a lot of work to begin with. And then it's going to break up this sense of community that's in there. As all of a sudden, all these strangers show up. Strangers that aren't interested in engaging with the local communities there, but creating their own communities that is beneficial to them. And then again, you're going to lower the amount of people that vote, which means that not only are you killing off the local demographics that are there, you know, the white demographics, you're going to then insert it, so then you have a bunch of people that are going to breed themselves into a majority over there. And we already know about people coming from these areas, people from the Middle East, people from Asia. A lot of immigrants tend to vote for the left-wing party, which means that you're going to see that the liberals are going to dominate in every single election from here on out. They've already captured the cities. Now they're looking to take these ridings away, which is one of the reasons that they're focusing so much on the West with this. Ontario's a big one too, but they're focusing on trying to get a lot of these immigrants into Alberta and into Saskatchewan. And these are the very reasons, because the West is the conservative stronghold in Canada. I mean, not that it really matters when you look at what the Conservatives advocate for, but when you see how far left the Liberals have gone, this is what's going to end up happening. Now they don't have to worry about the right-wing party. All they have to do is they have to worry about the NDP. The Liberals will only have to worry about them because they're the other party that is most likely going to be their competition after this. In fact, I think in some ways it's going to bite the Liberal Party in the ass, because when the Conservatives are irrelevant, they are the new right-wing party. And the NDP are going to take over more and more. Now this depends. This depends if the Liberals continue what they've done over the last couple elections, which is go outflank the NDP on the left, then they'll be able to maintain power. But you can see where this is heading. And the numbers that they're bringing in right now are startling. We have this here. So, immigration may lift economy, but not people's wage, plus other economist lessons. But more importantly, from January 9, 2020, last year, Canada added a net 437,000 people from abroad. We have a tenth of the population of the U.S., and in 2019, they brought in 595,000. Canada's population growing faster than France and the UK's, but along with this increase in population is a decline in local demographics. So you can see where this is going, can't you? You can see the whole point of this.